Hey YouTube, this is David back again with another review, this time of Godzilla 2014, the new film starring Aaron Taylor Johnson and Ken Watanabe, Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Olsen. I saw this over the weekend. I saw this Sunday, and I'm going to try and make this just a quick little thing, not give away too many spoilers. Well, some spoilers, some big things, but trying not to give away too many of the details of the film, not really go into the whole thing chronologically and tell the whole movie, just that I like the film, first of all. And I say that as a Godzilla film lover. I'm very nostalgic, mostly because of memories with my dad, watching those movies as a kid. Some of the movies from the 70s and 80s, particularly the late 60s and 70s. I liked the 1998 film with Matthew Broderick, but not really as a Godzilla movie. I liked that creature for sure. That was a neat thing, attacking New York and all this stuff. But the whole thing of them being able to kill him in the end, there were different things about it that made it didn't seem like a Godzilla movie to me, not a true Godzilla movie, not canon or something like that, you might say. But I really like this film, if only that it was a big theatrical release, American for the most part, even though I know it's borrowed. It all is Godzilla. That's Japanese Toho stuff. But that they made this film, and it's done as well as it has. I mean, it's made, I think it's had over $200 million globally in like a week. 1 week. And that if it makes better than 400, that they most likely will do a sequel. And that's what I'm kind of hesitant about, about saying I like the film, because I'm afraid if they do more, will they really do it justice? I mean, because one of the complaints that I do have, and I know a lot of people have gone into this, I'm not so big on this point of that I don't like the film. I like it because I like the film because I thought it was good. I thought it was a good Godzilla movie, but he's not in it a whole lot. He really isn't. I think it's a very legitimate criticism of the film that I think one person online, I was looking at reviews, and they used the phrase overly reverent. I don't know if I read that before or after I saw the film, but yeah, it's a good little description of it, because literally they're trying to be so respectful to Godzilla that they almost don't show him sometimes. Literally, there are at least two, maybe more than those two different times when he starts to fight a monster, the Muto, and it cuts to something else. Literally, right when they're about to make contact, they're going to swipe him or hit him with his tail, rush him, something in the mountains of Hawaii or Honolulu, someplace like that out in the Pacific. I forget exactly where. It cuts to the human characters again, and the human characters are good and all. It's just this is a Godzilla film, and I really was hoping to see more of Godzilla. But again, I'm not considering it a knock against the movie for myself, because I did enjoy the movie overall. I did. I just did. I liked what action there was. I wish there were more. And I've got to stop doing this. I've got to stop looking up the stuff on these movies before I go and see them, because, case in point, I would have enjoyed this film even more, much more, if I didn't know beforehand that there are other monsters besides Godzilla. I only just found that out a few weeks ago from, well, one thing in the trailer, that foot dropping down. I'm like, that's not Godzilla's foot. They've never had Godzilla's foot look like that, or his tail. That's something else. And then the thing with the toys, the Japanese toys, kind of gave it away that, okay, there's another creature. Okay. And it was kind of a spoiler, even before I saw the movie. And I'm going to put spoilers in the title for sure of this video. But yeah, I admit, if I went into this film and all this other stuff happened apart from Godzilla, I know I would have enjoyed the movie even more. But as it is, I still enjoyed it a lot. because they didn't kill him this time. They couldn't. It is an actual Godzilla film, not like, again, my main beef with the 1998 movie. And I like Matthew Broderick and all that, but they're able to kill him with a few jet missiles in the end. It's like that's not Godzilla, so we shouldn't call it Godzilla. But I did like this a lot. Again, the overly reverent thing that person said in whatever review I was looking at, it makes a lot of sense to me because you really don't see him a whole lot. And again, I know in the original film that I watched long ago, the 1950 or 1956, 1954, I know it's something from the 50s, the original Godzilla film, when he's like the culmination of man's evils, or, you know, he's the result of the nuclear radiation. And I know they bounce back and forth in the different films, especially those like in 1998 and this one, that he's this ancient creature now, prehistoric, quote unquote, who fed off radiation, and the reason he's dormant now is because there's not so much radiation in the world. That's the way they say it in this movie. But beyond that, over the years, they've had him be this force of nature thing that kind of visits punishment on humanity from time to time, and then also to be an anti-villain, where he's a good guy, where he fights other monsters and then leaves people alone, or like in Monster Zero, where he fights a bad monster and then the aliens are controlling him, so he just destroys Japan too. Just all over the place. They've done it all, and this time I don't think I've ever seen one where he was so basically for humanity or for the earth, because it's like these creatures might destroy the earth, and that this idea that he brings balance. Ken Watanabe 2 or 3 times in the film saying this, that the whole speech of the arrogance of man is thinking nature's within our control instead of the other way around, and Godzilla's going to bring balance. It was a neat way that they did it, and I really liked it about this movie. I really did. Of course, as far as the human characters are concerned, they wanted to nuke the monsters, and hopefully Godzilla too. And it's just the whole thing of, and again, Ken Watanabe's character, again, of learning from our mistakes, because he says, well, they already tried that. And there's the Navy captain saying, oh, what they used in the old days are firecrackers compared to what we have, these megaton bombs now. And so, but it's still like, still is the same thing. You did try it before, and it didn't work. And in the end, spoiler, definitely going to put spoilers in the titles, because this is too many big things to give away. In the end, it isn't the bomb at all. Aaron Taylor Johnson is like he does a lot of stuff himself, come to think about it, from destroying the nest to making sure the bomb goes out in the water before it blows up and doesn't harm anybody. But as far as the monsters, it's just like what Ken Watanabe said. Godzilla is who ends up killing the monsters. And you think he's dead, but then he's not, and it was good. I really liked it. Again, I'm kind of hesitant about any future sequels. I would be perfectly content if this was the last Godzilla film for a good long while, because there was just something about the 1998 movie, the ending and stuff, that just seemed kind of King Kong-ish or something. I don't know. The heartbeat thing fading away and the eyes closing and all this stuff. I really like this film. Bryan Cranston, I don't really know much about him. He plays Joe Brody, the father of Ford Brody. Absolutely obsessed with Godzilla. Well, not Godzilla, but trying to figure out what's going on, because in the beginning of the film, he and his wife are living in Japan, these nuclear engineers, and he's trying to figure out what is the cause of this seismic. It's not a normal earthquake, it's something else, and he has it all figured out right by the time the chaos starts to happen. I have never seen Breaking Bad. I'm not really interested in watching that show anyway. I don't, just from listening about the story, it's not the kind of thing I'm interested in. But I did see Bryan Cranston in some of the old Malcolm in the Middle stuff way back when, and that episode of Seinfeld where he converts to Judaism for the jokes in that one episode of Seinfeld. But other than that, I don't know anything but really about Bryan Cranston as far as things I've seen him in. But I know people are psyched about him. They love him from Breaking Bad. But I've never seen that. I don't know anything about it. Don't really care to. Drug, whatever. But I had gotten psyched up about seeing him. And the best acting in this film is done by him. And kind of the dramatic stuff in the beginning of the film, the loss of his wife and everything. But then he plays out of the film. He really does die within maybe a half hour or so. And I thought, okay, what are they doing? Is this going to be kind of like a revenge thing? Like Ripley to Aliens, like they did that in a comic where a Japanese family is attacked by Godzilla, and a young man who lost everything is obsessed with revenge. I thought, okay, is that going to be the kind of thing they do here with Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, or what? But they really didn't. They didn't take it that far, because it wasn't Godzilla that ultimately caused the death of Joe Brody. It was the Muto. And so what he was obsessed with, like what his dad's parting words to him were, keep your family safe. Like his wife had died, now he's died. Get to your family, keep them safe, whatever it takes, he said. And you're really feeling it from him at that scene of the movie. But at the same time, I was thinking, man, I thought he was going to be in the whole film, but he's died, and now we're going to have Aaron Taylor Johnson, which he portrays a Marine in the movie, and so he's got I think people are calling it stone face acting throughout the whole thing, but it was still good trying to watch him get from place to place and all the stuff that happens to him in the movie as he gets to where he needs to be to try and rescue his wife and child. And again, he's the one, to come to think of it now, who he destroys that nest, and he makes sure the bomb is going out in the water and stuff. And so his character is very important as far as trying to save humanity and all that. But again, it is Godzilla that kills those monsters. And I kid you not, the overly reverent thing, it's like that. And again, I'm only quoting somebody else. I don't even know who I'm quoting. I just saw that online. The way there's a scene on the bridge when the Navy is out, there's a huge fleet of warships out in the bay. Instead of knocking the ships over, Godzilla goes underneath them and then kind of puts a couple of them to the side, like you see in the trailer. And then he rises up when they start to shoot at him. The missiles, like Tomahawk cruise missiles, whatever, you see rockets flying everywhere. He rises up out of the water just in time that his sails catch a couple of the missiles and it hit him instead of the bridge. I'm like, okay, like it's like they got him being too much of a humanitarian. It's like, then again, it would have blown up Joe Brody's Ford Brody's son in that school bus on that bridge if Godzilla hadn't risen up out of the water. I was thinking, man, they really got him being the friend of humanity too much in this one. I would have been satisfied if they, okay, just have him kill these creatures, but, knock a few buildings down while he's at it. There was nothing really like that. And, yeah, the growl, the Godzilla cry or whatever almost hurts your ears in this film, and the atomic breath, you see that, but not. To be honest with you, I think I like the atomic breath from the old days better. But it still looked pretty good, and the overall film looked really good. And I know in the trailer people were complaining like, man, what is with this wonky special effects stuff? But really, I don't really have any complaints from that, and especially having watched the movie, I don't see anything that was bad. I know in the trailer they have the Statue of Liberty all messed up with the face damaged and everything and stuff's torn up, but in the movie I don't think that was even in there. I don't remember seeing it anyway. They weren't in New York or anything. They were in other cities, and it was like, what was with the Statue of Liberty in the trailer? Anyway, I'm getting too off topic. Again, it was kind of weird seeing Bryan Cranston's character play out of the film. I really liked everything that was happening. I'm afraid there was too much emphasis on the human aspect of it, and not enough of the actual monsters, because it is a legitimate point I think people are making, that this is a Godzilla reboot and you see him so little. And I mean, it would have been one thing if they had done it the way they had done it, but just added more drama to the human characters, like see people really distraught, or see people like really do close up on the damage caused by the Mutos or something, or if you're not going to have Godzilla do any damage, then at least zoom in on the damage they've done and really explore the human element, other than just Aaron Taylor Johnson trying to get from Japan to Honolulu, from Honolulu to wherever he caught the train, to the ship, to where the train gets wrecked, to falling off the bridge and back again to some other mission. Instead of following him so closely, it would have been more powerful, I think, if they had really. But then again, what is this thing rated? I didn't even look. It's got to be rated PG-13. Nothing really. And again, I guess really I got to admit that this is kind of a limiting thing. This rating of, because I liked the film, and yet it did seem long, and that's what I meant when I started complaining just then about how you just following people. nothing severe seems to be happening other than these big monsters tearing up the city, but you're not actually looking at the damage done. It's just some scared people running around, and what's the military doing next to try and track them? But overall, especially considering the ending, I like the film. Again, I say that as a Godzilla film, and also hesitant about any future movies. I'm like, oh great, what's the next film going to be? Will it be Godzilla saving the day again, or will they show a darker thing, or what? I don't know. Anyway, it's almost 20 minutes long. I just wanted to say that I like this film, and that's it. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.